Okay, question 9, and I think this is quite a nice question as we're getting near the end of paper. So it says, describe in terms of particles two differences between a solid and a liquid. So any of these. Particles are closer together in a solid. The particles are in fixed positions in a solid and they're overlapping and randomly moving in a liquid. Particles are in a regular arrangement in a solid. They're in a random arrangement in the liquid. And the particles have more kinetic energy in a liquid than in a solid. Any two of those. And there are more that you could say, to be fair, but they're the main ones. Okay, next one, we've got a block of concrete. It tells us the density is 2,100 kilograms per meters cubed. So I'm just going to have a look at that and then have a look at what it wants. Yeah, so kilograms, I can go with that. And then I'm going to check the meters cubed. Yeah, and I can go with that. So that unit is going to be fine. And it says calculate the mass of the concrete block. So we know we've got Dave's massive verruca, and that'll be written as rho mv, which is that formula there. And it says calculate the mass of the concrete block. Okay, so we don't even need to rearrange this formula. M equals the mass times volume. So the crucial thing is I've got to use these three numbers to get the volume, because that's length, width, height that you do in maths. Once I've got that, I'm just going to multiply it by the density, and that should give me the mass. So volume equals length, width, height. 1.5 times 1 times 0.2 is 0.3 meters cubed. Because we've got meters times meters times meters. Put that into here. Mass equals density times volume, 2,100, multiplied by the 0.3 that we worked out, equals 630 kilograms. And I think that's a really nice 3 marker. We've got a shed is made mostly out of concrete blocks. How can we reduce heat loss? I think this is a lovely question. We could insulate the inside of the shed, and you could use any wordings that hint at insulating the shed. We could double glaze the window, so we can see we've got a little there, that'll trap air, and air is a poor conductor. I could even say put silver foil inside the shed walls, that'll prevent losses through radiation. Or in the mark scheme, it even says just keep the door closed or use a draft excluder. Put a little snake under the door so there's less drafts. Any two of those. And then a really nice 6 marker. So a student's got 2 metal strips, that's these here, and a ruler, that's clearly that thing there. A teacher tells the student one's made of aluminium, one's made of stainless steel. So we know one of these is aluminium, we know one of these is steel. I'll put iron because steel is a mixture of is an alloy of iron and carbon. And then it says we can use a reference book to find out if it's that material. So it says plan how the student could confirm the teacher's statement by determining the density of each strip. Okay, so we know, and we're going to need to use this, Dave's massive verruca. Well, we know density equals mass divided by volume. So I'm going to need the mass of each of those strips using a balance. I'm going to need to use the ruler to get the volume by doing length, width, height. So it's testing on the stuff that we've already done. And then I'm going to calculate the density of each of these strips using density equals mass over volume. Once I've got to do that, use the book and see if it matches. And that's it. They're the basic, and that's enough to get you loads of marks that. But again, keep talking about what equipment you need, because it tells you there. Tell me about the measuring devices. What do you use to measure what? So I'm going to delete all of that, and then my model answer should come in on the PowerPoint animations. So first part then, measure the length, width and height of a strip with a ruler. If you wanted to, you could add in there, you could use calipers to get a more accurate measure of the thickness. Measure the mass of each strip using a digital balance. So I've now said I'm going to measure length, width and height with a ruler. I'm going to measure the mass. The volume equals the length times the width times the height. Density equals mass divided by volume. And you can see already we've got 4 marks just using basic density science. It's lovely. But again, make sure you get those equations in there. The next part then is, well, once we've worked out the densities, compare the value in the book. If it's close, it's likely that it's that material. Then we've got extra little things we could put in there. Repeat multiple times to calculate a mean. Remember, don't ever just say repeat multiple times. You've then got to say and then calculate a mean. And then you could repeat this process for the other strips. So we've done each of the strips and checked that it matches the book using that methodology. And that is a lovely question at the end of a page.